Alright, today we're going to do a review on a product for the Remington 783 budget bolt action rifle. I found this on YouTube actually. It's a tactical bolt knob modification, or as it says, tactical bolt knob bolt lift kit. It's a pretty simple thing to do. It's a bolt on with 2 screws. You add this on to make the knob more of a tactical or rounded, larger knob on the rifle. So, like I said, I found this on YouTube. There's a person that put up a video about it. I went to eBay and found it, and the name of the guy is Calibre, has it here, Calibre07 at commies.net, and you can find it pretty easy. If you search on eBay, it's the only one out there. It's the only one you can get for the 783. You can get a whole bunch of different accessories for the 770, but for some reason not the 783. So now we'll take a closer look at it and get it on there and see what we got. Okay, it comes fairly professionally packaged. You know, it got here pretty quick. And you got the 2 aluminum halves, instructions, and a little blister pack. So what we get is some instructions. You got your 2 halves here, and he also includes a packet with 2 little bolts, the hex Allen head wrench for the socket heads, and 2 little washers. And there's a little instruction sheet on there. Basically tells you what to do. And it's pretty simple. You want to take the side with the holes in it. That goes on the bottom, because when you put the bolts in and clamp it on the top, you cannot see that it is a 2-piece item. Basically what it does is it just sandwiches on. Here's our bolt. Let me get the paper set up. Alright, here's what we got. We got our 2 halves of the bolt knob, 2 bolts, 2 O-rings. How this works is you take the side with the countersunk holes, and you want that to go on the underside of the bolt. And you just place that to where it fits in the recess, like right there. And I have fitted this. It's pretty snug, okay? And what these O-rings would be used for is if you had play in there. If they didn't fit together, the 2 halves, very well, then you would take the O-ring and set the O-ring like in the center, and then that would be something that you could compress and take the play out of it. But these fit. These are machined fairly close, so they go together quite well right from the get-go. Now, you got 2 of them together like that, and there you go. Then what you do is you'd flip it around. You could actually do it the other way. Flip it around, and now you have where the 2 countersunk holes are, here and here. You place your bolts in there. And it is aluminum, so you don't want to cross thread it. Get one started, get the other started. Kind of run them down, and once you get them started, I just run them down. They're fairly snug, and you'll see it drop. And kind of make sure you're lined up and on there. And then I give it a good, finger tight. You don't have to get crazy with this, and like I said, it is aluminum, so you don't want to over tighten it. And if I decide to keep this modification on there, the only other thing I may do is like Loctite them in, just so that way they wouldn't come loose in the field. But I'll see if they get loose in the field after shooting it. Okay, and there we go. That's it. That's your bolt modification. Actually lines up pretty good. It's well machined. I believe it's worth it, you know, for $41. You know, it is a modification. But like I said, it's not necessary, but if you want a larger bolt handle on 783, it's not a bad item. So let's go and throw it in the gun and see what we have. Okay, we have our rifle. Like I said with this one, we slide it back in and clears the scope. And then what I'm doing is checking to make sure that the knob does not touch the stock. It comes close, but there is a gap. So the bolt's closing all the way. That's the only thing you'd have to worry about. For whatever stock you have, if this knob interferes or is touching it, your bolt might not be closing all the way. It could be in a very unsafe condition. Plus, this is the standard scope that came with the gun, with the low mounts or mid mounts. The guy that did the video on this, I was a little nervous because his rifle had a different style stock and it had a scope that was mounted on a much taller basis. And you know, he cleared. But this modification works fine with the standard stock gun, our budget gun. And actually, that, you know, that is a lot larger. It's easier to grab. Makes this rifle easier and faster to manipulate. Not so much as something necessity for hunting, but going out target shooting like I'm going to do it, I like it. So that's it. That's your tactical bolt knob modification from Calibre 07. Okay, and you can find him very easily. Just put 783 bolt knob and he'll come up. Make sure it's a 783. There's only one person that has this. The rest of them are 770 modifications. And I think it was like $41 postage paid. And you just pay him with PayPal and you get it. It's pretty fast shipping in that. He sold a lot of these. So that's the first modification, and it seems to be so far so good. And I'll update you after I use it for a while if it falls off or falls apart. But right out the box, it looks pretty good, and I like it.